Coach,
I'll start with a quick statement. This was a big one. You know, we are held together by bubble gum and duct tape on defense right now, and we lost a couple more again tonight. And you know, these guys never cease to amaze me the way that they respond to adversity and really do embrace, you know, being the next man up and preparing. If I'm a backup, preparing as if I am the starter. And although it didn't look pretty at times, my hats off to the defense. You know, we gave them two short fields there because of special teams in the second half. But other than that, you know, we got to get off the field. I get that. I've never been around a game where the other team has run 8 or 30 more plays than you. Um, they had almost 40 minutes of time of possession. We're 10 of 19 keeping drives alive, and we won the game 38-16. So I thought the offense, you know, we had 4 possessions in the first half, and put the ball in the paint in 3 of them, and really kind of set the tempo, gave us some confidence there. Hit a lull in the third quarter, and then we responded again. And um, my biggest challenge, I think our biggest challenge as coaches this week is going to be, again, we didn't handle success well after beating USF. And we've had some success now, again, on the road. And we got to get right back and do it again. And I did a poor job communicating really the intensity week after week after week, and it is absolutely exhausting to prepare every week to win a championship. But we went 1-0 tonight. We're 0-0 against UAB, but we also know big picture. We've got 4 games left, and you know we're going to have something to say if we take care of business in who plays for that conference championship. If we want to, if we decide to have a championship type week of practice.
Hey, Coach.
how does it feel getting back in the win column?
It feels like we hadn't been there in forever. I forgot it was only 2 weeks ago, but it feels really good. We had a really, really bad taste in our mouth for 6 days, guys. Really bad, and we should have. We were embarrassed. I was embarrassed as a head coach. I can count on one hand how many times I felt the way I felt coming off that field against UTSA. So it was nice to exercise some demons, especially do it on the road. We hadn't won a road game outside the state of Florida here in 2 years. And to do it on a short week against a team coming off a big win of their own, and to be so shorthanded defensively, just really proud of the way our guys responded.
Hey, Coach. LaJohntay Wester comes through with a career night after struggling against UTSA. How would you describe his ability to bounce back from adversity?
Oh yeah, he didn't play awful against UT. None of us played well. I didn't coach well. Our nutritionist didn't nutrition well. Our strength coach didn't strength well. We didn't do anything well, and him included. And so I think you saw the LaJohntay that we've seen for 7 out of our 8 games, and he's one of the best, if not the best. I hope somebody from the Bolitnikoff Award is watching. I would assume that if you're voting on that award, you watch ESPN and kind of do your research a little bit. But I think we've got one of the best receivers in the country, if not the best. And I'll die on that hill, proclaiming our enjoyment and really, we lean on that guy quite a bit. So enjoyment of coaching him and just to be around him and the impact that he has on every single football game has been fun to be a part of.
And Coach, you were saying how it's good to get a win after having a bad taste in your mouth of how that game against UTSA didn't turn out in your guys' favor. What did you guys learn from last week's game that you guys implemented into against Charlotte, where you guys were up big at halftime and then ended up winning 38-16?
A different team. I mean, we played a 2-time conference champion with the offensive player of the year, a 6-year quarterback with one of the elite coaches in the country, and we laid an egg. So what we did tonight compared to UTSA, I mean, the list is long, but much better, a much different structure of offense and defense too. I think allowed our guys to feel a little bit more comfortable, but we were ready for anything. I don't want to take anything away with, from the technique and passion and energy and physicality that we played with, but the other side of that can be true too. I think we know that UTSA is also going to have an opportunity to be playing for this conference championship, and we got to do our damnedest to make sure we go 1-0 each week. So maybe somehow, some way, we get a rematch with them.
Coach.
And in the second half, Jaquan Burton almost had a catch that was in the end zone, and I believe earlier on in the third quarter, I think it was Jay Sean Platt who also missed a catchable pass. How important are those to catch those passes in game time?
Well, they're important to catch all of them. I'm not trying to be a smart ass, but the one I remember the one to Burton. I thought he got yanked, to be honest with you. But obviously I was wrong, or there would have been a flag on the play. But the guy's hand, it was a difficult catch, very difficult catch. And but I don't remember Platts, to be honest with you. But other than that, our guy, again, guys, as long as the guys around LaJonte make the catches they're supposed to make, and every now and again make one that not very many people can make, we're going to be just fine. And I thought for the most part they did that tonight.
Coach, you mentioned a couple of guys that you mentioned that you lost a couple of guys tonight. Can you list those guys that you lost from tonight?
Well, Jackson Ambush, twisted his ankle up pretty good. He's a tough dude. Tried to go back in. We had to kind of drag him out. He wanted to stay in, but we could tell he was gimping around a little bit. So we'll see how severe that is. Luckily we have an extra day. He's a really good player too. So we got to be really, really smart and careful with the way that we get him back healthy. And then really the other one, Darius McClendon was down for a little while, and then obviously, they played with 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends, and we had a pretty extensive package because we knew we were so short on defensive backs of being in base with Jalen Wester in the game, and to get him knocked out so early kind of threw a wrench in that. And I thought our defensive coaches and players really responded, and we had to play 12 and 13 personnel in nickel, which is difficult to do from a matchup standpoint. But our guys did it, and they didn't blink.
And Charlotte was 4-19 on third downs and committed 12 penalties for 104 yards total. How would you describe the defense's performance to keeping Charlotte off their A game offensively?
Yeah, I think there is a lot to be said about playing great red zone defense and bowing your back when your back is needed to be bowed in the red zone, and I think we're doing a really good job there. But we've got to get off the field. And you look at the third down numbers, that's great, but they were 6 of 8 on fourth down. So by my math, that's 10 of 19 keeping drives alive. I hope in today's era of going for it a lot on fourth down, third down conversion percentage is not a big deal for us. We were 4 of 7. I don't count the 8th third down there, towards the end when we had our backups in, but we were 4 of 7 keeping drives alive on offense, and that's really all that matters. And so, every now and again, Coach Fry knows, hey, we're going to go for it if we get it to 4th and 3 or less, and it's 3rd and 8. He knows he needs 5, not 9, and we're not worried about converting third down when we know that we're going to go for it on 4th. So that number looks great for the defense, but if you take a closer look, you'll see that they're 10 out of 19. Over 50% of their drives stayed alive on conversion downs, which we've got to do a much better job getting them off the field.